I'm also recording. I'm recording on behalf of the guest speakers. Guest speaker.
Staff and students, men of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you the citation of Mrs. Oluwole Catherine Fumilayo, the 22nd inaugural lecturer. Please, will you stand? Thank you. Mrs. Oluwole. Oluwole Catherine Fumilayo ni Alake is an Ijilin of Akure, Ondo State. She began her education at Sacred Heart Private School and later attended St. Louis Grammar School, Akure. She proceeded to YABATECH College of Technology, where she earned her Honorary National Diploma in Printing Technology in 1984 and her Higher National Diploma in 1987, graduating with distinction. Her academic excellence was recognized with 2 prestigious awards. The Institute of Printing of Nigeria, IOPN, Award for Best Overall Student in Printing Technology in 1986-87. The Abiodun Koya Award for Best HND2 Student in Printing Technology in the same year, 86-87. She proudly identifies as an alumna of YABATECH College of Technology, the first and still the best. Ms. Oluwole's career spanned more than 37 years across both private and public sectors. In 1987, she was posted to NCR Nigeria PLC for her National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. Upon completion in 1988, she was retained as an estimator, serving until 1998. She briefly worked with Telegraph Company, Lagos, before transitioning into academia. In 2001, she joined YABATECH College of Technology as a senior technologist, marking the beginning of her distinguished academic career. Her pursuit of knowledge led her to earn a postgraduate diploma in education from the University of Ado-Ekiti in 2005. She later obtained a master's degree in publishing and copyright studies from the University of Ibadan in 2011. Ms. Oluwole has broken barriers in a male-dominated profession, achieving numerous historic firsts. She was the first female printing alumna employed as academic staff, first female senior technologist that later rose to chief technologist, then was converted to a senior lecturer. Eventually, she rose through the rank to become a chief lecturer. The first female head of the Department of Printing Technology in the year 2020. First lecturer to represent the School of Arts, Design and Printing as program officer at the Center for Continuous Studies, later serving as school coordinator. First female advisor of the Association of Printing Technology and Publishing Students, that's APTAPS. The first female HOD to publish a book, The Concept of Printing and organize the department's first ever seminar in 2022. Under her leadership, the department won the Dean's Cup consecutively for 2 years. The publishing department was created out of printing technology during our tenure. She was a member board of Governor's YABATECH College of Technology Staff School, Chairman School Examination Misconduct Investigation Committee, member of the Academic Board, former member College Junior Staff Investigation Committee, member Printing Management, Course Resource Inspection. Activities outside the college. A former Global Vice President of St. Jude's Old Girls Association, Vice President St. Jude's Old Girls Association, Lagos Chapter. She's also a member of CPON, Education Summit, chartered new course for printing and graphic communication in Nigeria educational system. A member of CPON Industry Training and Development Committee, also a member of CPON Electoral Committee. Mrs. Oluwole was adjourned as one of the most influential women in the printing industry. Beyond academia, Mrs. Oluwole is an ordained pastor in RCCG, currently serving as an area pastor. She's a mother, printer, author, publisher, and a chief lecturer. She is a member of the Chartered Institute of Professional Printers of Nigeria, CPON, and has attended conferences within and outside Nigeria. She is happily married to fellow QS, Femi Oluwole, and their union is blessed with 4 beautiful daughters. Oluwole is rightly described as a woman of history, a strong woman, a woman of valor, a woman of many firsts, a barrier breaker, and a trailblazer whose life exemplifies resilience, excellence, and divine grace. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mrs. Oluwolepamilerin, the second inaugural lecture. Thank you.
Director of YABATECH College of Technology, Deputy Rector Academics, Deputy Rector Admin, the Polytechnic Librarian, the Registrar, the Bursar, Rectors and Provosts of other polytechnics and colleges of education, Deans of schools, Directors of teaching and non-teaching units, Heads of departments, distinguished academics and non-academic staff, professional colleagues, great and great YABATECH College of Students, family members, friends, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I give God all the glory for the privilege to stand before all of you today. It has not been an easy ride. And I want to thank the rector of the college for the privilege to give the 22nd inaugural lecture. You may be wondering why printing and publishing twins in need of EPHPHATHA. As we go into the discourse, you will find out why. Rector sir, it's exactly 30 years ago that Dr. Josireme Ukeme gave the first inaugural lecturer in ADP. And today, I'm the second person to give the inaugural lecture. And not only that, the first woman in ADP to give inaugural lecture. To God, they don't do what they do. The registrar has read some of my achievements, but I would also like to add a few that being the first female to deliver the lecture, and then I was the first democratically elected female HOD for a tenure of 3 was during my tenure too that publishing was carved out of printing, and I was the last HOD to oversee the two departments. When I reflected on giving this inaugural lecture, I looked at what would be the possible title to give. I remember that I had my first degree in printing, then I had my second degree in publishing. And I've been wondering, I said, okay, because there are also the argument as to these two terms mean the same thing. So with my research, I came up with the topic, printing and publishing, twins in need of EPHPHATHA. Yes. My career adventure into printing, I started as a student in this college in 1982, and I was the only female in a class of 13. And I was the best student during my tenure, and I graduated with 2 awards. And I was privileged to be under the tutelage of Dr. Mrs. Jogotade Owosho, Dr. Mrs. Mama Bello, and then Dr. Mrs. Iboku Odushote, and our erudite scholar, late Pa Obashola Owojuibe. Following my graduation, I did my service at NCR, and I was retained. I was with the organization for 10 years. At the end of it, I said, let me have a change. I went to a graphic-based organization. And I joined the services of YABATECH of Technology in 2001. And I was appointed the first female senior technologist. And I rose to become chief lecturer. We want to look at the topic for today, genesis of printing. Evolution of printing. Okay. Well, looking at the evolution of printing, initially it was more of a spoken language. But as time goes on, writing came into an existence, paper and printing, as a result of inventions in printing. And it is known that writing enables communication preservation. Paper enables portability of knowledge, and printing enables mass reproduction of information. When Gutenberg invented the printing in 14 AD. Evolution of methods of printing. It started with woodblock printing in China, and the movable type also was invented by Bing Chen. Gutenberg press revolutionized book production, and printing reduced costs and increased accessibility to books. We want to talk about publishing. Well, publishing simply means making known. When you conceptualize an idea, you publish it, and it's still on your table, it's not yet publishing. So, publishing is an enterprise that begins with writing and ends with distribution, and it's when it gets to the end user that you have actually published. And I want to tell my audience today that publishing plays a vital role in literacy and dissemination of historical and knowledge across generations. Looking at the evolution of publishing in Nigeria, the early presses were introduced by Christian missionaries, and it was an extension of colonial trade. And the first book was printed in Calabar, and the second one was in Abeokuta with the title Ìwé Ìròyìn fún àwọn ará Ìgbà. Then growing indigenous and foreign publishing, they found an opportunity to establish printing and publishing in Nigeria. And the expansion was booming due to the oil era. And I'm privileged to have in our midst today one of the most pioneer of printing in Nigeria, Pa Jeremy Elau. Well, I want to look at paper. Paper is key to these twin times, because we have paper, we make use of paper every day. And during the first national development plan, the government of Nigeria decided to establish 3 paper mills. But unfortunately today, because of bad policy, only one, that's Nigerian paper mill, that is functioning below expected level. And when those 3 mills was established, the essence was to get job for the masses and again to reduce the problem of importation. But because of bad planning, they are no longer existing. Next slide, please. Book publishing are central to literacy and knowledge preservation. We could see from generation to generation. Then educational publishing dominates Nigerian marketing because that's the only way they recoup their money. Then, apart from educational publishing, we have academic journals, textbook support, and who remain vital tools for quality education. And we have the 5 big, but when the indigenization decree of 1978 came into existence, these people had to change their name, but few of them, they left the shores of Nigeria. We want to look at printing produce, when we are looking at printing as twins, they produce physical books, they manage content creation, and like I told you, publishing is a chain activities in which printing is one of them, and they depend on one another. That is why we liken them to twins. Together we enable dissemination of knowledge. Next slide. Anatomy, no. Is what is book? Okay. No. What is book? Okay. Let's move on to key differences. When you look at printing and publishing, even though they share similar attributes, they also have their differences. You could see that printing focus on production, and you have to be technically sound before you can do the production. Then publishing manages intellectual property and the longer production chain. And then I look at God as internal publisher, because when you look at some of the Bible passages that I quoted, you will hear the word declare, publish, tell the people. Then next slide, COVID. Well, the Yoruba will say during the post-COVID challenges, these 2 times were not exempted from the devastating effect. And you find out that there were cancellation of fairs, exhibition, decline book sales, and so on and so forth. And a lot of companies were closed down. Next slide. Well, what are the major challenges that the twine industry are facing? The Yoruba will say, lack of funding and resources. Government doesn't give much to printing, but if you read years back, during Goodluck Jonathan, 20 million was given to the entertainment industry. Then we have shortage of trained experts, then inconsistent government policy, and piracy, which needs to be nipped in the bud, and the weak reading culture as a result of ICT. Quality regulation, digital, okay. With digital innovation, there's emergency of e-books and digital publishing, so you can be at the door of your house and do your publishing. Then there's innovation from what printing used to be, from craft to technology. Then there's online distribution and digital marketing. Yes, we want to look at the place of AI in the 21st industry. Elon Musk said something. He said, in the era of AI, he said there are going to be just three professionals that will survive it. Unfortunately, printing, being a creative art, will be one of those professions that will survive the AI era. Yes, we can move on. Contribution to knowledge. Well, You have done this. Contribution to knowledge. Contribution to knowledge, I published, let me see, 14 publications and 12 seminars and please give all the contributions to knowledge, please. No? Engineer? Okay. Well, those are some of my published journals. Well, I decided not to put them on the internet, but when I retire, I'm going to do that. Then, once again, published journals, I also see them, journalism and publishing. That was the one I submitted for my PhD thesis when I wanted to go for my PhD before I became HOD. So I have to share the idea. Next one, book published. To the glory of God, I have published 2 books. The first one was the concept of printing and publishing in 2021, and the second one is book binding and print finishing, a practical guide by oluwolepamilerin FUNMI. Teaching and training supervision. My career as academic staff spanned over 25 years, rooted in training of thousands of polytechnic students, both ND, HND, many of whom are now industry leaders and academic staff at the college. I have successfully supervised and co-supervised numerous ND and HND projects. The current calendar in the college was supervised by me. Then mentoring. Served as staff advisor to Association of Printing and Publishing, former matron to Ekiti Student Association, mentored budding writers and supported indigenous students. Currently, I had just one in the last session. Overview. When the issue of EPHPHATha came, I think a lot of people became curious. What do you mean by EPHPHATha? I say, ẹni tó fẹ́ wá gbéyàwó bá kó nọ́rùn. Wait until 18, you will get to know what an EPHPHATha is. So, EPHPHATha is a biblical word that means open. And what do we want to open? We want to open printing and publishing to the world. Because a lot of people, because of family background, societal acceptance, when they mention the word, we want to read printing or publishing, they will say no way. I remember when I was to go for printing too, my parents were a bit skeptical, but it was God led, and I'm glad that today I am living my dream. EPHPHATha is a powerful tool that open and we are widely understanding from generation to generation through communication made possible by the invention of Gutenberg press years ago. Then the relevance of these twins, they are countless. Development of human beings through book production, leading to innovative drive, the only medium of chronological documentation, communication of historical events in permanent form for posterity. They also bring about the will of modern advance and civilization through invention of paper, machine, and just mention. Printing and publishing, see end the slogan, the art preservative of all art. It is needless to ask, how will the world be without the evolution of printing and publishing? To me personally, life would have been devoid of meaning and unmanageable without proper documentation, which form the basis of all professions in the world. The inaugural lecture of today is a product of twins that have opened our minds to relevance. All other professionals cannot underestimate printing and publishing. Both form the basic source of information. Rector, sir, and distinguished guests, you will all agree with me that we all owe a word of gratitude to printing and publishing, which drive the development of education, human civilization, and knowledge dissemination to facilitate freedom, knowledge needed to build individual. Whether you be engineers, doctors, lawyers, statisticians, and so on, for national development. I submit that no one is exempted from being a product of printing and publishing. Twins in need of EPHPHATHA. I therefore respectfully say with all authority that you, my audience, listeners and watchers over the world, owe a word of gratitude to my field of specialization, which is printing and publishing. History has shown that there is no problem without solution, and because of that, we all the problems are listed. Please, can you put on the problem listed? We are now on recommendation. Recommendation, yes. We need to let our government know they need to support favorable policies, investment in modern printing, technology, machine, and I want to use this opportunity to talk to the management of the college, sir, that printing needs modern equipment. And I believe that my rector will do it. If you believe that my rector will do it, say yes. Then there's need for us to encourage local technological development. Rector is one rector that believe in collaboration. So you be an engineer, sir, we can collaborate with printing, and I believe your student can do something. Then we ensure that consumables and non-consumables are locally produced. Some years ago, one of our students tried our hands on getting ink locally. We tried, we collaborated under the leadership of Dr. Mrs. Popola. But because of lack of equipment to go further, they couldn't find it. We believe we can still revisit that. Then we need to introduce modern day curriculum into our courses. Appreciation. Rectors, another says a tree cannot make a forest. Today, I'm grateful to God for people who have been a blessing in my journey in YABATECH College of Tech. I posthumously appreciate my late parents, Mr. and Mrs. Selvi Alake, for the upbringing. They instill in me the spirit of thoroughness. Many people don't know why Mrs. Oluwole is very thorough. Diligence, integrity, discipline, goodness, and faith in Christ. In faith in life's challenges, and above all, to be principled. Thanks to my siblings for their love, especially my twin sister, Bolade Ogugwa and Babajo Ogugwa. Both are my pre-links to my career choice as a printer. To my niece and nephew, I say thank you. To my in-laws, today I wish my sister-in-law, Alaja Shefumi Oteniara, were alive to share in my joy. She was more than a sister-in-law. She was a sister, a mother from another mother. May her gentle soul continue to rest in peace. So Dr. Rosireme and later Ajimo, God repositioned this great scholar for me not to go back to NCR when I was monetarily induced to come back. And I never realized the magnitude of their advice until the journey to many forms started in my life. As an alumna of this great institution, the first and still the last, I would like to appreciate Baba Ogufi, the first rector of the college. I would like to appreciate Dr. Misiti Ukaba, the former deputy rector of academics, leadership, whose leadership skill is worthy of emulation. To Dr. Tadia Washer and everybody, I say thank you. To my lecturers at UI and my classmates, thank you. I'd like to say a big thank you to my brother, Dr. Abdulrasheed Afolabi, who nominated me to contest for that HODship, and to all my colleagues for making it possible. I want to publicly appreciate the technical staff of printing department, Mr. Nuru Momodu, Mr. Idowo Tadina, Mrs. Bisi Ade, and Mr. Philip Akibode, Gani Ogundeyi, for their support during my tenure as HOD, and to my secretary, Mrs. Bello, and to Mrs. Yomi Gani, who after I left office as HOD, she was also still supporting. I want to thank all my friends. They have come to be my already over the years. One of them will have been here today, Engineer Mrs. Margaret Mutala, but the first female president of Nigeria Society of Engineers, who is currently in Ghana. I want to appreciate YABATECH. She's here, my friend, and to my beautiful friend, Toyi Ogutoye, the YA boys. We are opposite, YA boys and YA girl. All our family friends are telling you, thank you for standing by in Ghana. I appreciate the support and love of my secondary school alumni, St. Louis Grammar School Akure, under the leadership of Chief Mrs. Valentina Adefunke Adeyelu Ajayi. They are always there for me. Thank you. To my fabulous and ever supportive maternal cousin, Eda Guyiro, Arole Olutola Guyiro, Chief Femi Babalola, Shola Guyiro, Taye Guyiro, the only anyone one, Ishere O Alajobi Agbeyin. Then, Rector Sir, as the head coach of the college, I want to appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to give today's lecture. And I want to thank you for giving the community a sense of ownership. And I know that before you end your tenure, you will actualize that university status. If you know that my rector is capable of doing it, say yes. I'm eternally grateful to Deputy Rector Engineer Dr. Badmos, whose intervention made it possible to me to get recommendation to become a chief lecturer in the college. Sir, we are eternally grateful. It has not been an easy ride. I want to thank these two people, Dr. Adeola Balogun, Dr. Alade Gobe, Dr. Mrs. Oduro Olade. They are ever there for me. To my former dean, Dr. Pius Ejolami, thank you for exhibiting a leadership skills. Thank you for your firmness of purpose and your excellent leadership skill. To Dr. Adekunle Adeyemi, the man I got to be speaking big English. During my tenure, thank you, sir, because during his tenure, we benefited by having a new equipment in the department. To the current dean and the entire staff of a School of Art, Design and Printing, thank you very much for your love, and may the good Lord reward you accordingly. I want to thank Mrs. Ojo and Mrs. Charles. Then I want to thank our daddy. There are special people here. By Jerome Lao, Dr. Okeshoto, Orufade Baki, Akim Adeyemo, Dr. Kede Adepegba, Willie Tipe, Ipe, Olorun Nipe Omo Pariola, Prince Aromolano, Tony Ogude Adebola, Adewale, Miss Akama Pabo, Miss Alaja Fanila Tido. I will miss her CF. That's how she calls me. And I want to specially thank Reverend Engineer Awell for opportunities within and outside Nigeria. To Great Yaba College of Tech, both my current and the past, you are the fruit of my labor for the past 25 years. They thought to be my adopted children, are too numerous. Then I sincerely appreciate the membership, the member of inaugural lecturer committee under the able chairmanship of Dr. Mrs. Abiodun Adebayo Oyeto, that collectively made meaningful suggestions. To my colleagues at NCR Nigeria PLC, thank you for being shoulders to lean on. Thank you for friendship and love that bind us together as family. I want to appreciate the entire pastorate and members of Lagos Province 106 under the leadership of Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Alaba Ayodeji. The journey to the spiritual peak was made possible for them. To Pastor Tokes Adetayo Awonu, Fashaye Shegoluwashi, Janet Akande Olumide, thank you for all you have done. To my wonderful audience, you honor me with your presence. Despite your task schedule, I say not okay. Dalu Ebshepupo. I know I've achieved much without the support and prayer. So before I conclude, I would like to acknowledge someone who has been a constant source of strength and encouragement through my journey. My dear husband, the most handsome man in the world, Mr. FUNMI Oluwole. We've been together for 32 years, excluding years of worship, and we are still counting. We have been a patient husband. This is Oluwole, not patient. We have been a patient husband, a patient listener, and a unwavering supporter of my academic worship. He's always giving me the push. He said, baby girl, you can do it. And because he has that, I can do it as well. He has constantly encouraged me to persevere, especially at moments when the demands of work felt overwhelming. Beyond his support at home, he is himself a distinguished professional, a chartered quantity surveyor, and fellow of Nigerian Institute of Quantity Survey. Over the years, he has devoted his career to management and professionalism. His belief in my work and the value of this academic calling has played a quiet and significant role in bringing me to where I am today. My dear husband, thank you for your love, your patience, for your steadfast encouragement over the past 22 years, and I'm deeply grateful to have walked the journey with you. If I have the same opportunity, I will do so again. They will say, Auntie Kate, calm down now. They are my consultant, and I want to specially thank my grandson and my son-in-law. I don't have son-in-law, I have son-in-law. Kenny, thank you for family for believing in me. Finally, I appreciate the grace upon my life. Mr. Rector, sir, I want you to permit me to sing just a line, and that song says, Ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ìjìnlẹ̀, ẹ ṣeun o. Ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ìjìnlẹ̀, ẹ ṣeun o. We'll finish that later. I want to assure my audience that even after my retirement from active service, I still have many rivers to cross and mountains to climb. And with the support of my leaders, my God, I will proceed for this inaugural lecture, which my rector said Esogora during the first one, according to my rector, and continue to apply my God-given wisdom, publishing one textbook for students, and fulfilling kingdom assignment. Two birds don't produce eagles. Funmilayo is a distinguished chief lecturer. Any belief received, I came, I saw, I conquered. All glory to God. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely appreciate your presence at this memorable inaugural lecture. Your support, encouragement, and prayers are making this day a reality. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you all.
That Mrs. Oluwole have conquered. The 22nd inaugural lecture came in another style. A style that will for long be remembered in the annals of YABATECH. It's not about how much, but how well it was delivered. An inaugural lecture is not only an occasion whereby you showcase all what you have achieved as an academia, but when you present live achievements to your audience, showcasing substance, and that she has been able to do. She has been the admiration of all. For those of us who are not following in depth, the lecture explored the world of printing and publishing, and it framed them as inseparable Siamese twins that are interdependent and essential for knowledge dissemination. Both of them are essential for education and societal progress, particularly in Nigeria context. The title itself invokes the word EPHPHATHA. How many of us can? Not until when she started pronouncing the word, I couldn't pronounce it. Okay, can we pronounce it together now? Be opened. Metaphorically calling the opening or revival of these twin industries to unlock their full potential, showcase them globally in order to create vast job opportunities and deliver broader benefits to humanity. The lecturer took us through her own personal journey to reflect on her career from studying printing technology to become a chief lecturer, an author, and a contributor to this field. And she has even promised you that she's not going back to sleep even after retirement. She's going to continue to be an EPHPHATHA. Am I pronouncing it well? because she's going to open doors, as she promised. She's going to continue publishing and printing. She gave us the historical genesis from the invention in China in 100 AD to the current day technology. She linked the evolution of printing in Nigeria to the 19th century missionary work, starting from printing of religious books, the YABATECH of which particularly, probably YABATECH started with the Egba people. It grew with indigenous and foreign publishers establishing book industries in Nigeria. She made us to know that publishing handles the intellectual and creative aspects, while printing focuses on the physical production. They are mutually reliant, with publishing needing printing and printing needing the content. Can the printer print without the publisher? And can the publisher publish without the printer? She also showed us that books are essential for teaching, learning, and research. And she advised us to do what she called curriculum alignment, especially for Nigerian polytechnics. She narrated the challenges facing publishing and printing in Nigeria, from inadequate funding, obsolete equipment, high costs, importation, piracy, and most importantly to me, the declining reading culture in the youth of today. They are the ones that form very, very serious challenges to the world of printing and publishing. What if you publish and print and there is no one to patronize you because the youth have just simply refused to read? She also showed us the opportunities that are bound in the world of publishing and printing, like e-books, print on demand, the use of advanced machines, and the era of AI, where you have transformation in operations. She ended by recommending to government to give support to the industry and to revive the local paper mills, to invest in technology and to support training of professionals. She also proposed that there should be anti-piracy regulation and efforts to promote the reading culture. She advocates for global exposure and exchange programs for the people in the career. The lecturer of today made us to understand that printing and publishing remain vital pillars for intellectual development, for literacy, for education, for national progress across all professions. And she assured us that with strategic innovation, policy support, and human capital investment, we can overcome all the challenges and drive development and advancement in this country. The lecturer has been able to show us the significance of that word in the Nigerian specific issues. EPHPHATHA. as embracing future opportunities. When you say EPHPHATHA now, we are talking about opening. Opening what? Opening the country to future opportunities in technology. Opening to future in the developmental world. And for us in YABATECH, an opening to the university status. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to join me in congratulating our industrial and our inaugural lecture today. There are some inaugural lectures that you attend and you'll be dozing and you'll be sleeping. You have been with me, she has been able to captivate her audience and she has delivered the academic content. So it is my pleasure to now, even though she has discharged herself before I took the mic, but she doesn't know that it is my right now to declare her as having seen and conquered and can now be discharged and acquitted. I want to present to you the discharge certificates. This from Yaba College of Technology to the 22nd inaugural lecturer, Mrs. Oluwole FUNMI. She is hereby discharged and acquitted, combining both inaugural and exaugural lecture together. Congratulations.
Let me quickly call the husband to please join us.
I love the way she introduced the husband. Please come around. Congratulations.
Congratulations. On that note, shall we just rise up to have the college anthem? YABATECH anthem. YABATECH anthem. Let's have the YABATECH anthem, please.
Innovation is a dream, progress is on time. In this trajectory leaders, YABATECH, the nation's pride. YABATECH, loving us to be. YABATECH, open door of life, for this in our lives. YABATECH, our shining star.
all just have our seats and let the procession to the past order. We also want to inform all the invited guests of the lecturer to please stay behind after the procession must have left.